Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Dennis and I'm your librarian for Hospitality Management. I want to show you some tricks today on helping you with your assignment in NHM215. So I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to start at the library's homepage. So this is libraries.olemiss.edu, and this is the page you need to start all of your assignments on when you need to find resources for your papers and projects. So from here, I'm going to show you how to use the One Search box. You may have used this in the past, but I just want to show you that you can use some extra features in it to find really specific things that you're looking for. So today we'll look for future trends in cruise industry and hit search. When you type in your keywords here, use between 2 and 5 keywords. It will give you a better result list. And you can see we found about 47,000 things. Don't worry if your computer found a little different number than this. We've noticed that some numbers are a little off, and that's okay. So we find a result list by typing any type of keywords in. And this happens for any subject, any major. That's why One Search is so useful, so we have it on the home page. One Search combs through about 90% of the 250 databases that we own. So it really looks through a lot of what we have, but it's not at all in one comprehensive one-stop shop. But for this assignment, it works pretty well. So if we have these keywords in, you can see it's going to try to give you a result list based on relevancy. It tries to sort things that it thinks that you want to see first, and that's always a good thing, right? But we have all of these limiters on the left-hand side to help you refine your search. And this is really helpful when your professors tell you exactly what they want you to look for. So in some cases, they will tell you to look for just peer-reviewed articles. I know that your professor today has not asked you to do that, but I just wanted to point out peer review is an option here because a lot of times your teachers will say you can only use peer-reviewed journal articles for your resources. But we have everything selected, and you can see that a lot of different type of information is coming up. Journal articles, which could be peer-reviewed, as well as magazines, newspapers, and books, and trade publications. So lots going on here. I would go to advanced search. That is up here next to the search bar. If you click on advanced, then you can actually separate your subject terms or separate your keywords into subject terms. So I'm going to split cruise industry and future trends. I know that future trends is not a subject, so I'm going to leave it the way it is, but cruise is a subject. In fact, cruise industry, cruise lines, cruises, all of those are subjects. So I'm just going to go back and take off the word industry and leave the word cruise so that it'll pick up all the different forms that the word cruise is attached to in a subject heading. The reason you may want to try subject searching is it refines your list and makes things much more relevant. It's not just looking for that word anymore, it's looking for how an article was actually tagged. And that's what you're really looking for. I'm also going to use the limiter to look at the last 12 months. We want to see sort of future trends. We want to see sort of newer articles. So that's going to kick out older things. You can see we still have a 200 result list. So when you start narrowing down your result list using different subject terms, using different keywords, you'll notice it gets more and more refined. And at this point, you probably want to start looking through here and picking things that look interesting to you. So pay attention to what kinds of articles are showing up. The academic, scholarly, peer-reviewed articles tend to come up first. Not always, but a lot of times they will. And you can see in this case, that's what's happening. The Cruise Ship Safety Management Asian Regions. This is the title of this article. You can see where it was published in this journal called Sustainability. And it was published in July of 2020. You can click here for the Download Now button, and that's going to actually pull up the journal article for you. If you have not already logged in, at this point, it would ask you to log in with your Ole Miss web ID and password, and that's because all of these articles cost money. They are living behind a paywall. This one, I think, actually is an open access, so you may have been able to find this one on the web, but most everything we have, the reason it asks you to log in is because you're getting access through being a member of the university. So you can see the importance of getting to the PDF is to see the article in its actual original state. So this is what this one looks like. Journal articles are different, but they typically have the same type of structure. So they start off with an abstract, which is a summary, an intro. They give all of the original fonts, page numbers, graphs. You can see all of these little numbers in this journal article are references. So when you are writing your own research papers, you'll have to have references at the end of your paper to show where you found other research. This is the method section here. All research has a method section and a review of the literature. I'll scroll down to the bottom. They do a discussion of their research, then they have the conclusions at the end, and then the very last thing, here's the discussion and the conclusions. At the very last, they'll have everything that they used to write this article. So where you may have to have 5 or 10 sources, a peer-reviewed article that has been published in a journal has many articles, many references. You can see this particular article had 60 references, and that is really normal. That's what a journal article does. It produces research and it looks through the literature the same way that you're doing here, by seeing what we have, what has existed, what other researchers are looking at and what they're using, and they're using that to build upon. So research is a conversation. It's jumping in with other scholars and seeing what it looks like right now at this piece and this time. So those articles, if it says peer review, if it is a journal article, it's going to be really long and it's going to be scholarly. So just know that when you're looking at this type of information, this article is going to be a long scholarly article written by professors. The next one is also an ebook. So of course, ebooks you can read online. Just click on the title. They'll have a download option, which is usually for 1 to 3 days, or you can just click here to read them online. The best part about reading an ebook online is that you can use the search box or the magnifying glass and search for your keywords anywhere in the article. And it will show how this word or phrase, if you type in a whole sentence, it'll jump to the parts of the book where this exists. And then you can see how useful it may or may not be to you. And if you do want to use this, then this is the page in this book that you would want to cite, or this is the section. So using ebooks can be really useful as well. And then you can see it jumps to news results. And this is typically more current. The news, of course, would be more current than peer review. Because peer review takes so long to get published, a lot of really good peer reviewed articles may not show up in the last 12 months. They may show up in the last 3 years. But you're looking for future trends today, so you may not be worried too much about finding peer review articles. Finding news results may be better for you, and finding trade publications. So you can always go over to the left-hand side and look directly at that type of content. A trade publication and a newspaper article will be written a lot faster than a peer review publication. Whatever you're looking at here in the middle, if you see something that looks like it might be interesting to you, cruise line stocks slip as the coronavirus is making people a little afraid, right? These are talking about stocks. We're looking at the trades. Trade publications are written for people who work in the industry, so that's why this type of information is important to them, because they're actually working there. They're not really looking at the peer-reviewed stuff. The newspaper articles, if we uncheck trade, magazine articles and newspaper articles would actually be stuff written more for the general public. So like the New York Times, here we can see they've published something, anything on the Newswire Press. These type of articles may be really helpful for you too. In fact, the future of travel from the Times, I'm going to go ahead and mark and put in a folder. You can see the folder icon here. Trends and future forecasting, that's actually pretty good. I'll put that here as well. In fact, seeing the word forecasting reminds me that you can always go back to the top where you have these keywords and subjects, and you can change them at any time. Changing this to forecasting. instead of future trends, just to see how it changes it up. Anything that I've already marked would still be marked in this list, but it doesn't get rid of my folder. Now, if I happen to close out this browser, it will close everything out and I will have lost it. So never close out the whole browser before you email whatever you have in your folder to yourself. So you can see a lot of this is talking about how the pandemic has affected the cruise industry, which makes a lot of sense, right? It has affected all parts of tourism and hospitality industry. So you may end up changing that too, adding pandemic, adding travel, future trends, using trends as a subject term, cruising, cruise lines, hotel industry. You can change all of your subject terms up and your keywords up. You can go to advanced, if that makes it a little easier here, and use this drop down, and you can change all of this and then continue searching. Continue, and you can add more here as well. We'll add pandemic as a subject. So I have trends, hotels, and pandemic. I switched the search up entirely. Now, if you change your search up, always look over here to make sure that it kept your limiters if you had any. In this case, because I changed it so much, it kicked off my limiter. So I'm going to go back and add that I want to only look at the last 12 months. So you can see it pulls up a peer-reviewed article first. Then this is the trade publication. That actually looks really good. You may have even Googled a couple of trends and you want to type those in specifically, like wellness is trending in the hotel industry. I know I've read that. Anything with technology, if you want to use specific words and key phrases there, you can do that as well. So after you've found some things and looked through your result list and changed your results up, don't forget to be sure and go to the top of the page where you can see your saved items in a folder and click on that, and you'll want to email this to yourself. So when you use the drop-down box, be sure and change this to APA. You have to have the APA citations for anything that you have found and you want to use. Otherwise, you will get in trouble for plagiarizing, and you don't want to do that. So we're going to add the APA citations. Now you can see it changed the look here. This is the APA citation. Actually, this one looks a little sad. We'll have to go back and add some things to that one. The second and third one coming from different journals, those look good. It sends you the citation and it sends you the link, but these are computer generated. So even though you don't have to start from scratch and you don't have to know exactly what the citation is just from reading your article, using this will help you to have a better works cited page, or in your case, a references section. So you just go to email these to yourself, type in your email address and tell it you're not a robot, and then hit send. And when you get this email from the university libraries, it will send you just this short citation list and the links that actually go back to the article attached to these citations. And when you see a citation like the one from the New York Times that looks a little short or it looks a little off, that's when you'll want to be sure and go to the OWL site, owl@english.purdue.edu, and double check the APA standards. Always double check to make sure it's right. After you email something to yourself, you may want to go back and look at more things, or you may want to go back to the library's homepage. If you go back to the library's homepage, I do want to show you one thing before I leave, and that is how to contact me. When you are doing this research on your own, you may run into a lot of problems, and I don't want you to get frustrated. You can always reach out and ask me about anything you're working on, and I'm glad to help you. If you can't get a hold of me for some reason, just know that there's this chat box that pops up on the right-hand side that says chat with us. This is anonymous and you can chat at any time that we're open. Chat is available Monday through Thursday, 9 to 5, and Fridays it's available 9 to 1. But over here under the quick links, the last link is subject liaison. So for every single major at Ole Miss, we have a librarian attached to that major to help with all of their research needs. So you can see hospitality here would be in the H section, and my name is next to it. If you click on my name, this will open up my page where you can actually use this book now, and you can book time with me, 30 minutes, where we can talk about your research or look through things together. We can do this over Zoom, or we can do this through email or a phone call, whatever you need. If you just want to email me, my email is mdennis@olemiss.edu, and I am happy to work with you on this project, in this class, and anything else that comes up for you. So let me know what you need, and I will see you next time. Bye.